in the paddock with Butters, Tyler Buter. Thank you so much for doing an interview. Another one, even after I just called you Butters.
You're welcome.
So Tyler, do you remember your first race here at Pocono?
I don't remember my first race here, but probably my first win here was with a horse for Rob Harmon. His name is Don't Know Chip. I won the open trot here with him, so that was definitely a good starting point.
Actually, my first qualifier, the horse went through the outside fence. That was a little embarrassing, but he come back, qualified good again, and then win. So yeah, it was good.
I was 16 years old. It was 1979 at Laurel Raceway in Laurel, Maryland.
What were your feelings going into the day?
I was really excited. I was a kid and I was happy, and it's all I'd ever wanted to do. My dad raced horses, so I was born into it, and I just couldn't wait to get out there.
16, so everyone else is driving a car, and there you are getting ready to drive a horse.
Yeah, I'd much rather drive horses than cars.
My first race at Pocono was actually a stake race that I trained in. George Brennan drove a horse for me, but my first actual race that I drove in was at Ladbroke at the Meadows, back when they used to call it Ladbroke at the Meadows in '97. I was a P driver, used to train for Dave Pallone back then, and I actually won my first race.
Get out.
Right, and it was, you know what, you can never match that. It always goes downhill from there.
I think I've been here for like 14, 15 years, been racing for close to 30 years. I came here a long time ago. I can't tell you. I can remember my first winner of my career was a horse called Ace of Aces back in upstate New York, Vernon Downs. I started my career in Vernon Downs, New York. So that was my dad owned him with me. He bought me my first horse. My dad wasn't very wealthy, but he saved money and bought me a cheap 3-claimer, and I did pretty well with him. I always appreciated that, and I still have the picture of that.
Do you remember the name of the horse that you drove here?
I was driving a little horse called Step Ride. He ended up, it was just a 5 or 10 claimer, but he done a good job. But yeah, little Australian horse, so ironic.
You fit right in there.
Yeah.
Craig's Crown. It was that was the second one. Abercrombie, I think. Yeah, my grandpa's mare, and I had my Uncle Clay's helmet, and it was 3 sizes too big, and it kept bouncing down over my eyes. But she was such a good mare, I just put her right on the front, and she did everything herself.
Do you remember that feeling that you had when you first started out? Were you nervous and were you anxious to kind of get out there?
Oh, yeah. One thing I do remember when I was young, I couldn't wait to get my license, after qualifying, I believe, a whole year. And then your first drive was like, I remember being very nervous. And every time you raced, you were nervous. And that's normal. I think you want to be nervous to be excited about doing it.
You won your first race. I understand your mother is also known for being the first something. What is
Yeah, my mother won the first matron pace actually by a woman. She won with a horse at Detroit Race Course back in 1984, I believe, when DRC was still open. And the name of the horse was Shady Deal.
My gosh, women power. I like it. Did you remember the name of the first track you ever raced at?
Yeah, well, that was back in Australia, a track called the Gold Coast. Actually, I think I won my first race as well, a horse called Sheldonian. So that was, I got bitten by the bug then and been in the game ever since.
Now, Joe, you've been in our lightning round before. This is a different kind of lightning round. It's one of firsts. So do you remember your first car?
Yeah, it was a very cheap car my dad bought for me, station wagon. So I remember it, very old, about 30 years ago, but did the job. It drove me, the first time I drove it, I was 18, my first job in Buffalo, New York, driving the New York State Thruway. I was so excited to get there. And I heard on the radio about 3/4 of the way there that the thruway was closed. But I was trucking on down the road in that old station wagon, got there, and it got me around for a couple of years. That was the lady killer.
I had a Trailblazer was my first car.
Nice. Do you still have it?
No, I traded in. I went through a bunch of them.
When you were cruising down the Ohio Speedway, what was the first car you were driving?
My first car was a Chevy Beretta.
It was a pickup.
Was
A
it?
Ford pickup, yes.
Oh my goodness. Do you still have it anywhere?
No. That thing can't last too long.
I had it was like a Buick. Cutlass Sierra, I think. It was brown, 2-door, and I had to put a motor in it.
My first car was a Ford Falcon. It's probably unheard of over here, but it's sort of like a mini pickup truck. But it's a pretty sweet car.
What about your first concert? Do you remember that?
I went to an Ambigalord concert one time. It was like heavy metal. Back in the day, I was racing dirt bikes, and we were into that.
You know what? I never was a concert. Unbelievably, I never went to a concert about 35 years old. People go, oh my God. And then I started going, and I went to Bruce Springsteen, Elton John. I love those kind of concerts. I've been Elton John and Billy Joel a couple of times. Actually, he's coming here, Elton John, in My wife wanted to go, but it's on a Friday. I won't be able to go. But I love Bruce Springsteen too, and then a couple others, you know. But Aerosmith I went to, and I enjoy concerts.
Yeah. The boss, I mean, that's worth
Yeah,
the 35-year wait.
He was excellent.
So how long have you been married?
It'll be 3 years in May.
Do you remember what you bought your wife for your first anniversary?
These questions are hard.
I know.
No, I don't. Flowers.
Oh, that's a good one. That's really, really good.
We don't buy presents. But I told her when we get money, I was going to buy her a nice dining room table, and I got that. So.
Ah, score! So getting personal here, do you remember how old you were when you got your first kiss?
I think I got a kiss from my babysitter.
Ooh!
Yeah, when I was pretty young. I was a ladies' man.
How old were you when you got your first kiss?
I can't remember that.
Ooh, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, you know, I don't know.
First kiss? God, maybe 5 or 6. I don't
Oh
know.
my God, you're a charmer at a young age, huh?
Yeah, well, I used to be.
16. 16, yeah. I had my first girlfriend, first kiss then. Yeah.
16 seems to be the average age, 14, 16. I think Andrew McCarthy said he was 5, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's different in Australia, you know. It's like it's almost like dog years over there or something, isn't it?
So what's the drinking age in Australia?
18.
18. So what was the first drink you ever had when you were of legal age?
Of legal age?
That's the catch there.
Probably a 4X Gold. That's my favourite beer from back home.
Can you get that here in the States?
No, you can't get it here.
Oh, man. So you have to have it shipped or you have to go visit family?
I have to go visit family. Yeah.
Bud Light.
Ooh, a Bud Light guy. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. We didn't really stump you with any.
Nope, I was on my toes today. Yeah.
You did a good job. Thank you so much, Tyler. We appreciate it.